Just days after avoiding being killed by about an inch during a failed assassination attempt, Donald Trump gets some good political news that Florida judge Aileen Cannon, who was selected by Trump and seen as friendly to Trump and on, has dismissed the Trump classified documents case. Judge Aileen Cannon handed down her decision just hours ago. This is a major win for the former president. The Florida judge overseeing Trump's classified documents trial has dismissed the entire case against Trump on the grounds that the appointment of and funding for special counsel Jack Smith was illegal. District Judge Aileen Cannon, nominated by Trump to the bench, said in her 93-page decision Smith's appointment was unlawful and unconditional. The clerk is directed to close the case. This coming on day one of the Republican National Convention, of course, at which Trump will be formally received as the nominee, and following an assassination attempt on Trump over the weekend. White House spokesman didn't really have anything to say. Trump's lawyers argued in court papers that the Appointments Clause of the Constitution doesn't permit the Attorney General to appoint without the Senate confirming a private citizen and like-minded political ally to wield the prosecutorial power of the U.S. As such, Jack Smith lacks the authority to prosecute this action. It seems as though the judge agreed. The special counsel's team for its own defense said that the Attorney General does have statutory authority to appoint what are called inferior officers, and that previous court decisions have affirmed that. The arguments by Trump's legal team were previously raised unsuccessfully with other special counsels. They tried this exact same argument against Robert Mueller, who ran the Russia investigation in 2016. From here, Smith can appeal this to the 11th Circuit Federal Appeals Court. That court will certainly hear the case. We don't know it will be expedited. This is yet another dagger in the possibilities of Trump trials going to trial before the election, never mind getting results before the election or whatever the case may be, the judge throwing it out. What does all of this shape up to mean? As far as the political impact, the politics of this decision, I don't know that it's significant. We already saw that the 34 guilty verdicts don't seem to really have moved the polling very much, although some argue it moved the polling. It's just not reflected in the polling, but there's voter preferences. They are less strongly behind Donald Trump, or these are arguments that are outside of the data. So it's very hard to make an argument one way or the other for that. But certainly the totality of the last 3 weeks, you have to believe overall pushes Trump closer to winning in November. Unless you take a structural approach in which you look at it and you say, incumbents in general still get reelected. The economy's good. This is the sort of Alan Lichtman keys to the presidency argument. I'm going to be very upfront with everybody. I have absolutely no idea. We already had an unprecedented situation. It was already unprecedented given the charges and guilty verdicts against Trump, a rematch of a previous election with the nominee being a guy who previously was president. It's all, that scenario was already an N of one. Now with the failed assassination attempt, the aftermath of the Biden debate, all of it. And then now this, it's extraordinarily difficult to make a sober prediction as to what the likely impact of all of this is going to be. It's hard to imagine how all of this is bad for Trump, but those arguing it's obviously good for Trump may be going beyond what the facts can tell us at this point in time. So a victory legally, certainly for Trump. It will be appealed. We will see where it goes. So many of us are busy. We may not always have time to nutritionally plan out every meal and make sure we're getting the exact amount of this mineral or that vitamin. And that's why I like AG1. Our sponsor, AG1, is the daily scoop you mix into water or your smoothie to get 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and nutrients from only whole food sources, Just a single scoop covers me nutritionally for the whole day. AG1 is just simpler and faster and more cost-effective, by the way, than fumbling with a dozen different vitamin pills and products. AG1 can support all sorts of different functions, and it promotes diversity in your microbiome. In a research study, AG1 was shown to even double the healthy bacteria in your gut. Staying healthy is just about habits that are sustainable. They have to be sustainable, which is why I've been using AG1 in the morning for years now. It's just easy to stick to. Start your own journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription order at drinkag1.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.